that my rules aren't fair and updated. Welcome, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the peaceful future, which is not becoming any more peaceful as the days go on. In fact, some would argue the opposite. We return to this group, having gotten themselves out of a sticky situation of being in both the Yuan-Ti lands, also finding themselves into a dragon nest while carrying one of their party members, who at the time was not able to be available to be there. Today, we come back. As a quick mention, Sigrun will be controlled by Sarah for the day because Sigrun is currently dealing with a lot of school stuff and doesn't have the time to join, unfortunately. But that is okay. Also, as a little side note, we have posted our rules for our grouping, and I am putting this on the recording, so it is also noted. We'll go through the rules in a separate video on my own time, because these guys can read this shit. They don't need it going on in the video. So, we come to the party having escaped the Yuan-Ti lands, having managed to hold off a Yuan-Ti prince who was arguably very ill by the appearance and had what they would later find out to be a vulnerable mine stuck in its head or carved into its head. The party, having decided to set up and kind of set up camp for the night after gaining a bunch of items that they were wanting to attune to. In the night, Terias also offered up the heart for sacrifice to his patron, while the rest of you either tuned or got your long rest, with Terias taking a short rest instead. We come back to the following day. The sun is shining. It is a brisk morning. The sea salt air is all about you. You can hear the water as it kind of pitters and patters onto the little beach, only about a 20-minute walk from where you are now. Having headed inland a little bit to camp just to make sure to avoid being swept away with the waves. The body's still somewhat there, a bit more destroyed and decimated than most of you remember, but Terias had to do a lot of carving to get to the heart. The very tiny heart of this poor creature. What would you all like to do?
Well, as I wake up, I'm re-summoning my Drake, I guess.
Alright, your Drake reappears.
Give him a pat and... bust out a ration, I guess, because didn't need to eat.
Okay.
Are any of the scales still full size? Any of the larger ones?
Yeah, some of the ones on the top of the Yuan-Ti prince. Terias kind of cut down the sides of the thing to get to the heart quicker.
Mm-hmm. Now, if it's still attached, I'm not gonna bother.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
I could throw you up there.
How heavy are the scales, actually? I know they're durable.
The typical Yuan-Ti prince scale, you're looking about a 3-foot size scale. I mean, they're pretty big, given this is a really large creature. This one's about 2.5 feet from what you gather, because it seems to be a bit smaller due to its illness. It looks like it was already starting to die and shrivel up before you guys even found it. In typical weight from what you can gather from, at least after watching Terias carve into the poor thing left and right, a scale would probably weigh anywhere between 2 to 6 pounds.
I look at Shogun and go, you might be able to ride on one of those instead. They're pretty durable.
Consider as I had, but thieves be a danger.
They are valuable, yes, but the fact that you'll be standing on it, I think, is going to discourage anyone from touching it. It'll also be great for intimidation for you.
Nah.
Do what you will with the information. I'm just sharing.
Not important is leave quickly. We should. Not a safe area.
Yeah, we need to go.
Well, as
Darius,
you,
since you seem to be the most perceptive, why don't you bring up the rear?
any issue with that, Terios?
Wait. Did you say I'm the most perceptive?
Since you seem to be, you're the only one who caught that the thing was coming.
I mean, sure, yeah.
It's true. Yeah. All right. So Terios at the back.
Yeah, I'll take it back.
Shogun, you
I
stay
think
towards the
I'm
middle. I'll be up in the
perceptive.
front.
Okay.
Sarah and Sigrun, you two go wherever you please at this current point, because I don't know how best to place you. I'd figure towards the middle, with
Yeah, Sarah will
Sigrun
probably
behind me and Sarah behind Sigrun.
Sarah will probably take dead middle and Sigrun and behind Nick.
Okay. All right.
Or roughly. Not that we're necessarily walking single file, but
Yeah,
no,
no,
I got you though.
be in a slight grouping, but
Well, as you continue walking, where are you going? So you are
I
on a
know I
beach.
saw the forest last time, and that'd be the best place to head right now, because at least there's food and everything there.
Okay.
In the middle of a desert, kind of gonna have a harder time with that.
Yeah, no, that's fully understandable. Okay, as you continue heading off, the kind of edging your way, you finally find yourselves about after 2-3 hours of marching or walking rather. You find yourselves at the edge of the forest where you can clearly see there definitely is signs of civilization nearby. Some of the trees have been felled. It looks like you can see scratch marks from decently sized claws upon many of the trees. And you know what? Since you mentioned Terios is the most perceptive, Terios, give me a perception check.
Of course, I would love to do that. That's a 7.
Everything's fine.
You suddenly understand the universe now.
Oh.
No takes backs.
So as you look around, you can kind of spot what looks to be some sort of unnatural shapes deeper into the forest. You do notice that the forest definitely does get more thicker as trees seem to get closer, and a lot more foliage seems to be easily spottable. But there do seem to be a little whiles away a couple of unnatural shapes that are somewhat squarish from what you can gather.
Gotcha. Are the shapes moving or are they
No,
stationary?
they're stationary.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
All right. We have buildings up ahead.
Alright, good to know.
Okay. Are you
Says the guy in the back.
Yeah. All right.
And the passive perception sees them, understood. I see them. Good job.
Yeah.
Are you gonna continue to lead the group that way, Nick?
I'm gonna be picking my way through the trees carefully, seeing scratch marks, and knowing that wild animals do not regularly like other things entering their territory.
Okay.
So I'll make my Drake walk in front of me just to be able to hamper an attack if need be. Its action will be ready to counterattack anything that comes to attack me, and I'll lead the way through.
Okay, give me 1 minute. I'm just checking something really quick. Okay. Terias, does a 20 hit you?
It does.
Okay. I'm just using this for the monster sheet, don't worry. Because it's hard to find something with a musket. You take 8 points of piercing damage as you suddenly find yourself feeling a musket ball go right through your shoulder from way behind you.
And that's our cue to turn, and I'm going... Do I hear the shot fired?
Yeah, it's very... muskets are not quite.
Rotate around, and I instantly fire off an arrow at where it came
Right.
from.
Okay, one
From
sec.
way back down on the beach.
Yes. Terias.
Gotcha.
Nick, go ahead and give me an attack then.
I don't care. As long as they're within 600 feet, I don't get disadvantage. Let's go.
They are not out of that range.
21.
The arrow goes flying past their head, and they suddenly, just as soonly as you get that shot off, you see them, their hands start to glow, and a doorway opens as they walk through. And
I
vanish.
think we're being followed by a specific little bitch.
As you do take a second to look, I will mention, Nick, you do get that this person definitely had a humanoid figure. Now, I did say humanoid, not human.
Did I see the mohawk?
No. You couldn't make out hair from that far away.
Alright, we're gonna have to move through here faster. Keep on guard, and... don't get shot again, Terios.
Fuck you. As I'm like fucking bleeding out of my shoulder.
Also, Sarah and Nick, go ahead and give me Arcana checks.
Okay.
Just as a general thing.
Oh, wow, 17.
Okay.
24.
Fucking goddamn. So you both recognize the spell she used was definitely something, an off-brand version of Gate. Meaning...
Dimension door, got it.
Yeah. You didn't get the... Sarah, you do get it. It was Dimension Door. That's what the spell was. I will also mention something. Let me message you something.
Okay.
I pat Terios on the shoulder and heal him real quick, stepping back towards the front. You get 6 health back. Have fun.
Appreciate it.
You're lucky I didn't use the squirrel, I say as I walk by.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
And leading on in, keeping a better eye out and being more alert as I go.
I will say, Nick, with you staying alert, you do see rats flying, running across tree limbs and such.
I see rats.
Yeah. Rather large rats, in fact. These are the size of small house cats.
Well, we have some ROWs here.
I love that you guys aren't supposed to metagame.
What are rows?
What's
ROWs?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I said it wrong, but you know what?
Rodents of war? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes,
You know what? You know what? For this time, possibly, because I know how your world is.
I'm gonna make that an actual monster, Rodents of War now. I am putting
ROMDs.
I am putting a note to that. Make
I have access to the world with greatness.
Rodents of mass destruction. ROMDs.
Well, no, those are in the capital.
Okay.
Yeah, I was referring to rodents of unusual size, but...
Oh,
Those are
God.
That's a rude.
Sorry.
I'm
Rodents of
so
unusual
using
size.
Rodents of War now. That is gonna be a mercenary pack somewhere in the world.
He's playing as
You know what? You know what? That's where the rat cloak went.
Oh
That's
my
where they
God.
stole my rat cloak, man.
Okay. Anyways, so as you continue heading into the dense jungle, eventually you do find yourself on the outskirt of this town. You do see tabaxi of almost leopard-like patterns to their coloring of skin, their fur, walking about. I mean, they're civil. They're wearing normal, typical leather clothing for most of them. You see a few hunters here and there identified by their bows that are kind of watching. They definitely can see you, but they're not hostile and haven't moved to intercept. You count amongst the houses roughly about 12 buildings. This is definitely a smaller town overall. And you'd guess maybe the population to be around 50 people.
I mean, there's probably not a store, and we'd have to camp out still, but that's not too much of a problem. I'm gonna look at one of the nearest residents, and I'll try and make sure. I prefer to ask a hunter. What town is this? I'm a little lost.
One of the guards kind of sees you, waving him over, and kind of walks over, sees your party, and a little confused. Knowing full well this is definitely not an invading army for the group, the diversity of this group. Because to this tabaxi, out walks basically a human with a drake standing next to him. There's a red goblin in the back, a blue goblin that's carrying basically a staff with bones on it.
And a giant backpack.
Yeah, Sigrun, the giant warthog, and then another human Noid. I believe Sarah's full human, right?
Elf, half elf.
Half elf, that's right. Seeing a half elf, yeah, it looks a little perplexed by the situation.
I know this looks like a bad bar joke, but where the hell are we?
The man looks at you and goes, you're in the Tabaxi lands, sir. Are you
Town
okay?
name? We teleported and ended up in the Wanti Caves. We're lucky to be alive.
Yeah, yes, you are. He looks at you and goes, well, welcome to the Striped Kingdom. Kind of takes a second, and
Thank
kind
you.
of puts his bow back away. You're in a small town that doesn't really have a name. I'm gonna be honest with you. We're just, another part of the village.
I'll pull out my map and just ask him to point out where we are. That way I can get our bearings.
Alright. I will quickly give you a screenshot for that. Someone just messaged me again. Let me get this down. Ooh. It's been a little while since I've had to use this tool. Alright. Make it real easy to see for Cameron here. And I'll post that in the group chat. There you are. See that blue circle? That's where you are. Enjoy.
Alright, well...
Okay.
Yeah, we were just in the Queen's area of the nearest hive.
He looks at you and goes, and you're alive? Well,
Yeah, there's a waterfall cave that leads out.
so either
Fight some
you're...
dragons.
Wait, what?
Young dragons. They weren't that bad. I pointed at Sigrun. She was able to basically punch one in the face a few times.
The man looks very terrified now suddenly of your group. Because
yeah,
you
we're
just...
not here to cause problems. We just needed to get directions and we'll be on our way. Thank you for your help.
I think you're looking for the capital, and he just points off to the right and says, that way.
I think we will head that way.
He goes back to his job, and you see him kind of go whispering to the couple of the other bowmen, and they're all now watching you lot very nervously.
They won't mess with us if they're afraid of us.
I mean, historically, that's not true at all.
Historically, every time a person has punched a dragon in the face, they were never touched by regular people again.
Shogun, there is not really any room to walk a horse through this area.
Sad.
I'm gonna be
Shogun
honest
has
with
a
you.
horse?
I can summon a horse.
Oh.
Well, let's
was
keep
like-
moving. I'm gonna take us towards the capital. While walking through, if there's a small general store or anything to stop and restock.
I will say, the hunters do seem to watch Shogun mostly, since he is the one kind of levitating with a giant dragon egg on his platform.
That's my egg,
Remind
damn
me,
it.
How large is the dragon egg again?
This thing's about 2 feet tall and like 50 pounds.
It's a big
Yeah.
ass egg.
Yeah!
It's
And it's
it's a dragon
char black, because no one's washed the damn thing off.
I would have thought
I claimed
that
this.
it would have washed off in the ocean because the Drake was carrying it in the water.
No, you had Shogun carrying it, actually, from what I recall.
Shogun has soap. Shogun will do his best.
You know what,
was
Shogun,
carrying
wash
it.
the egg a little bit
Carried
if you
it.
could while we're walking and keep it warm.
Sorry, what did
I
you say?
pass him a blanket.
Shogun was molding earth.
Yeah, he didn't jump off. I had the Drake carrying the egg at that moment.
I'll have to go back and check that.
I didn't grab
Anyway, doesn't super matter. It's
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It still
Right.
would need wash. That would just make it a little bit lighter. I passed Shogun my bedroll. Wrap that around it and wash it later, please.
I mean, I'll wrap it and I'll put it in my backpack because I took some stuff out of my pack. I have enough space now.
Okay. As you continue heading, it's gonna take you another good day's worth of journeying between where you're at now to hit the actual next major town.
We'll head towards the next major town, and I will keep alert in the front, and I will leave them with the word that there was someone who took a pot shot at us on the beach,
Mhm.
so be careful when going out hunting.
Okay. Just checking something. Okay. So, as you guys start heading out, you guys got a day's worth of walking to do. I'll go down the list and see and ask if you want to do anything during that day. You don't have to, but you can choose to while you're on the marching order, and you can choose to PM me, of course, if you want to keep it private. But everyone will judge you if you PM me. So Nick, is there anything during this day journey you wanted to do?
Only thing I might do is see if anybody has spare arrows on them, which I know Shogun does out of character, so I'd be asking each person, though.
I throw a bundle at him from my floating platform.
How much is a bundle?
That's
I believe
20
bundles-
arrows.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Feel free to add 20 arrows, Nick, and Shogun, feel free to remove your 20 arrows. All right. I'm going down the list further. Terios?
Yeah, I'm going to create a little harness.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly going to consist of a couple leather straps that strap around the shoulders and then strap together around the chest and back
Okay.
for stability, and it's going to have a little platform on the chest made of just a thin sheet of iron. Nothing too heavy, but sturdy.
Okay.
And I'm going to put little I'm gonna bore holes in it to make it so I can attach my lathe or my mill to it, so I can work while we're traveling.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Okay. Sarah?
Mostly just walking along most of the day.
Okay. Okay. And for Sigrun?
I would guess that they're probably similar. I would guess probably occasionally trying to talk to the dwarf from the axe.
Okay. Well, still, the dwarf never summons himself. He seems to be ignoring, like the
Yeah,
true sun deer
definitely.
he is.
What a guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Give me a second. I just need to roll for something for her axe. Okay. All right. Nothing happens. Perfect. And then, Shogun.
Okay, using my 5 water skins and my soap, I'm gonna start cleaning the egg.
Dude, you are a one-stop shop, really.
I have all-
This is why we have him.
God
This
damn.
and the magical ability.
Okay. Alright, give me 1 second. Go ahead and give me... Fuck, what do you roll?
Dexterity
No.
check to wash it well.
No, give me a minute.
Cleanliness check.
I can roll history to see how well I know how to clean things, if you like.
Give me a medicine check, actually.
Oh no. That's a 5. That's really-
Wow, that's
I don't
a...
even- I don't think that's
Okay. So, using the cold water from your skins and the soap you have, you start scrubbing it down. Give me a d20 roll, no modifiers.
You're gonna kill the egg.
I never had an egg. What do you mean?
I'm gonna kill you.
Hey! Look at that. It's a 20.
Okay, good to know. All right, so as you kind of continue rubbing or soaping up the creature, the egg itself, 2 things happen. Firstly, you finally get through the ash that was on there. It's pretty thick. It takes you a good few minutes or a good half an hour of scrubbing on this to get the caked ash off of it. And you see what looks to be a... So in my world, dragon eggs work a little different. Depending on the dragon will define the shell of the egg, because the shell kind of shows you what kind of dragon typically is, which is traditional and normal D&D. However, in this case, this dragon seems to have egg seems to have a strange design, whereas most of them are typically a solid color. This one has the top of it seems to be black, and the middle of it, or the bottom of it, seems to be black, but the center has a strange strip of red with a black, almost like vortex-looking design to it that seems to pattern out in four different parts of it, each facing a different direction. So like northwest, southeast, yada yada. And as you start scrubbing it, the top of the egg cracks.
Oh.
And
Hearing this, stops dead, looks back.
You don't know. Yeah, I'm in the air.
Nick, give me a perception check with
So
disadvantage.
17 passive perception doesn't do it.
I'm not gonna let you do for passive, because your passive would be focused
13.
on. Okay, so I'm gonna say with you hyper focusing on where you're at, I'm gonna say that you do not notice or hear the cracking, as it wasn't very loud, anyways.
Alright.
A small bit of the top of the egg seems to crack. It doesn't open, but you do see the top tip has cracked a slight bit. That's all that happens.
Okay. Alright, that's fine.
Okay. As you lot, after a day's journey, finally arrive at this town. Give me a minute. And again, I'm just using this for... Does a 23 hit you, Terry-ass? Get out. This is just a character sheet because I don't have the monster.
Yes, it does.
Okay. You take 13 points of piercing damage as you suddenly hear the firing of a musket off in the distance and see the explosion of black smoke come from one of the top trees about 20 feet from you and about 30 feet in the air on one of the branches.
Can I take a shot at them?
Sure. I'll
Alright.
even actually have all of you roll initiative because, thank you, that as you look, she's not the only one there.
Oh, perfect. 17 for me for once. I'm not slow today.
That's good.
But do I get my shot off first real quick?
I will tell you in a moment after I set everything up. Because really wasn't originally playing this, but I think it'd be funny. Okay, so we have Sarah at 12. Alright. Sigrun is well known for their amazing initiative.
Even when I roll.
Yep. Shogun got a 12. Nick?
17.
Alright, and Terias?
He's going last. He got a 9, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he got a 9.
Okay, 9. Got it. Is Terias distracted currently? Please feel free to PM me. And, alright. Just making sure. Okay. So, as you turn, yep, Nick, go ahead and give me your surprise attack. See if you can hit.
How about a 24 to hit?
That does hit.
That's 11 damage.
Okay, give me a minute. Alright. And that is non-magical?
That's correct.
Okay, so it's halved. Okay. As the arrow actually does hit its mark, it just seems to just kind of slightly dent into the armor of this person. They're wearing a full, like, head mask. As you get a better look at them, they are wearing, let me find their armor. Here it is. Okay. They are wearing what you recognize as a thing of robes and some elven plate. So, and for the robes, what you can gather from the look of them, they seem to be dark with a slight blue tinge and weird polka dots all around, or like small dots everywhere around it. Okay. Then, alright, so that is the end of your surprise round chance. So, as you look around, as all of you look around, you suddenly find yourself surrounded by a bunch of tabaxi, with arrows pointed down at you lot. And seeing that Nick is the one who took a shot at their leader, they're going to start shooting Nick. Does a 19 hit Nick?
Yeah, it does.
You take 7 points of piercing damage.
Hey, free! I got an arrow pack. Let's go.
There you go. And they can't do anything else, so that's fine. The person you just shot an arrow at is going to level their musket once more. And they are going to take their first action to reload, and then they are going to use their second action. Let me just check this is correct. And they are going to go ahead and shoot a magic missile at Nick at level 5. So that is you do creates 1. Okay, so that is 5d4 worth of damage. Which did that roll all of them? No, that rolled 1. Give me a minute. It's going to be easier to roll this way. So 1d or 4d4 for the rest of it. So that is a total of 12 points of damage that you take.
You couldn't just shoot me with arrows.
Well, you know, they had something far worse planned for you, if you're wondering. Okay, let me just make sure to update that so it takes it. Because that is... Oh my, that used a lot. Okay, and then that is the end of their turn. Nick, you are up. What would you like to do? You're in a very dense forest filled with hunters in almost every tree. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
How many of them can I fit into a 30-foot cone?
2. They are all on each separate trees, taking different angles at you.
I'm going to flip the horn off my shoulder.
Oh
The
no!
horn of blasting.
Mm-hmm.
I am so
I'm
happy.
aiming it at the leader and whoever's close to them.
Okay, that'd be the first two shot at you.
And I'm taking a blast. And then they are getting blasted. I need a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I'm just making sure something. Okay, +1 to that. So that is a 12 for them.
Fail.
Okay. Well, fuck. And the second one is do they get any bonuses? They do not. That's really not great. Well, that's a 3.
If it's below a 15, it fails.
Miraculously, the 3 succeeds now.
Well, that was a 3, so therefore it fails. Okay, so they both failed.
That's 5d6 thunder damage, and now there was just a huge
19?
blast. I also need to roll a... I have a 20. It has a 20% chance of causing itself to explode. So.
Okay. Go ahead
what
and
do you
give me a
want me
D.
to roll for that?
20%. Give me a D100.
And if I'm not mistaken, those 2 are deafened, right?
Okay.
42.
It does not blow up.
Yeah. They're all deafened now too.
Okay.
The ones that got hit, at least.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do, Nick?
Since I'm not moving, I'm also gonna take the chance to use my bonus action to get a nice hunter's mark on the leader,
Okay.
and then 2 bow shots at him.
Okay. Go ahead and take your shots.
Oh, that one's gonna miss. That's a 13.
That does miss.
And that's an 11.
That
Great,
also
that's
missed.
2 wasted arrows.
Let me just check. Is that the feat I chose? It is not. Damn. Okay. Alright. And that is the end of your turn.
Yep.
Okay.
But the Drake will get more able to guard me, if that makes any sense, to try and give me some cover from the arrows.
Okay. So
behind.
you are considered at half cover. That's fine. So, alright. Then the Tabaxi, one of the Tabaxi hunters, is going to still take a shot at Nick, seeing him as the biggest threat. Does a 22 hit?
Yep.
Okay.
Should
That
have
is
healed
6
myself.
points of damage from it. Nick is currently acting as Pincushion, what he is well known for as the tank.
Yeah, I'm doing great as a party tank, everybody.
And...
I'm proud of you.
Okay, and that Tabaxi is going to use its movement to climb further up the tree, so now it is 50 feet up the tree. Okay. Sarah, you are up. What would you like to do?
She is going to mutter some words, and all of a sudden you see her form start to shift and, like, vibrate almost, casting blur.
Okay.
Anything that attempts to attack me will have disadvantage.
Okay.
Unless they have something like blind sight or true sight.
Okay.
And then staying put, so attacking twice with my lightning gauntlets.
Okay.
Or my lightning attack. I will attack the one that Nick has been shooting at.
Okay.
Through the head of the snake, body will just
16.
coil up.
16 does not hit.
Okay.
Well, we know the AC is above 21.
How about a
from the
9?
last try.
You know, surprisingly, that does not hit. Shocking.
Does the lightning start a forest
But
fire?
wait,
You
I
gotta
have
roll to confirm.
Yeah,
could be
doing
terrible.
that. Nope. I'm fine.
One day.
It almost went to a 1 though.
Besides panicking there for a minute, is there anything else there you'd like to do?
No. That's actually, let me see. Yep, nope, that's it.
Okay. Alright, Shogun, you are up.
What enemy is nearest to me, and how far is it?
Assuming you're with the group, and you're floating, how
Hold on.
high up are you floating?
30 feet in the air.
So they are all within 20 feet for you, except one is 10 feet above you. All the rest are on the same level as you are.
Above and how far to the side?
I mean, it's a circle. You guys are completely surrounded.
Because I want to fly above whoever's nearest and crush them with the rock that I'm on.
Well, they're all evenly, except for the one that's 10 feet above you. As well.
Yeah, I want that one. I'm going to fly above him and slowly press down on him with the slab I'm on.
Okay. He is going to get a strength check to see if he can...
It's a really heavy slab. They're welcome to try.
Well, that's a 12. I'm going to say that doesn't do it.
Yeah, but I'm also making it worse because I'm using my gravity ability to double the gravity of the slab,
Okay.
so it weighs double.
What's the current weight of the slab?
I think you mentioned last time it was 150.
Okay. So that's
So it's
200
300
or 300 pounds, yeah. So, let me just check something. I believe even with that, they 300. You said it was I said 300 pounds. So
300.
they are able to bear the weight, but the branch you can hear is cracking.
So it'd be 386, 300, a little over 420 roughly. Yeah.
So with that, I'm just double checking something to make sure I'm correct in this. Yes, so they can hold,
Are
currently
we
hold you
grouping
up.
the 50-pound egg weight in this?
That is fair. It's 470 pounds.
The branch is starting to creak as you're forcing this down. However, this is telekinesis magic, so as a reminder, this is slow going. It's not like you, unless you suddenly deactivate the spell. So
No, but they're not gonna be able to do much next turn. So.
True. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Shogun?
Yeah. I am going to cast. I should probably not set the forest on fire. That'd probably be a terrible idea. I'm gonna magnify gravity. Use that spell on the next nearest person.
Okay. That's a save, correct?
That's the con save.
Oh, well, they're known for their con. Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, I assume a 1 doesn't pass.
No.
Okay.
So that's 12 damage.
Alright.
Plus, next time they try to move, their speed is halved.
Okay, so they can only move 30 feet. Got it.
And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Alright. Well, that Tabaxi that you just started, or you used your spell on, is not going to move and is instead going to take a shot at Shogun. Does a 15 hit, Shogun?
No. Not at
Okay.
all.
Then it is going to use its feline agility and bumping its speed back up. It starts running, or well, hopping rather, from tree to tree and disappears into the darkness.
Oh, you little shit.
So he is now gone. Okay. So let's see. Sorry, I just got an email that pumped up my thing. The next Tabaxi is going to also start taking a shot at Shogun to try and get him off. Does a 19 hit?
Still does not.
Okay, then he is going to wait and watch. Next one, same thing. 17 doesn't hit.
No.
And the last one, man, These rolls today are really good.
Dude, I love having 20 armor. It's so good.
All right, Terias, you're up.
All right. So, I got shot by a musket.
Yep.
That happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Twice.
Who's the musket holder?
Well, currently the person on the ground in elven armor wearing a very interesting looking cape or robe.
How far away? is
He's
that
also
person?
been shot and he's now deaf.
30 feet from you.
30 feet.
Mhm.
I'm going to walk 15 feet forward,
Okay.
and I am going to use my bonus action
Mm-hmm.
to light up my tentacle rod,
Okay.
and it starts crackling with electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take some damage for that. 4 points. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, and I'm going to take, because I have 2 attacks per action now, I'm going to use them both with the tentacle rod,
Okay.
and the tentacle rod does 3 attacks per attack.
Okay.
So, that is a total of 6. That's a 23 to hit.
That hits.
20 to hit.
That hits.
A 19 to hit.
That hits. Jesus Christ.
A 33 to hit.
Yeah.
A 17 to hit.
That does not.
And a 22 to hit.
That does. So you have 5 that successfully hit.
Okay. So I'm gonna count these all up. 7 plus 9 is 16. Plus 11 is 27. Plus 9 is 36. Plus 6 is 42. Plus 5d4. 10 more, so 52 points of damage.
Okay.
respectively, and I need 5 Constitution saving throws,
All right.
or until he fails, because after that it doesn't.
13.
Fails.
60. Okay.
So for that, boom, 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 boom. Awesome. Okay, his speed is halved. He
Okay.
has disadvantage on Dex saving throws. He cannot use reactions for a whole minute.
Mm-hmm.
And on each of his turns, he can either take an action or a bonus action, but not both.
Okay. All right.
It doesn't exist.
Okay. Is there anything
I'd
else,
like to point out
Terios?
that we have now completely disabled their leader.
Actually, I'm going to move back 15 feet
Alright.
towards where the group is.
Okay. Not a
Kind
problem.
of stand in a defensive position.
Okay. All right. And then Sigrun is up.
Okay. They would like to rage and move up to the guy that's on the ground.
Getting their shit kicked in. Just got
The
lashed.
one that
with
we have
tentacles.
completely turned into a disabled person by making him deaf, paraplegic, and
Yeah.
just very slow.
And attack with the
Axe.
axe.
That hits.
Be two-handed for 11 damage.
Okay.
And yeah, they got second attack. Second attack for 9 damage.
All right.
And let's see. Yeah, they moved, so that's it for that
Okay.
time.
The person is spitting. You can see blood coming through their blackened helmets. Let's see. All right. Yes.
Hold on. With that, I just need to check something to make sure it's possible.
Well, it's not your turn, and so I'm going to continue.
Well, this is a Drake's reaction. They roll an extra 1d6 for that last strike.
Why?
The Drake is infusing lightning into it for Sigrun.
Can your Drake do that on not their
Yeah,
turn?
infuse strike, it's a reaction.
Yeah, but if you strike, right?
It's infused strike. It's when another creature within 30 feet of the Drake that
Okay.
it can see.
3.
Okay, alright. No
3 extra
problem.
lightning.
Which is halved. Okay, cool. Alright. The one of the Tabaxi is in the still up there is still going to take a shot at Terias, seeing how much damage he just did. Oh, well that's a natural 20. Okay, that did not confirm. So that is 9 plus 6, so 15 points of piercing damage to Terias. Just as a heads up.
Sounds good.
Alright. The Tabaxi currently being crushed by Shogun is now up.
Mm.
And he is going to try and claw at Shogun's feet with one of his hands. Does a 17 hit Shogun?
Still no. Still no.
Alright, he is going to make a strength saving throw to try and shove this thing off. I'm going to say DC 15. Make it easy. Okay, so that's 18. So you feel yourself picked up, or being lifted up, as the branch breaks and you both go tumbling to the ground. That will be 1d10 worth of damage to him, because of the fact that he is the one hitting the ground. So he'll take 8 points of damage, and he's dead!
Yeah.
As the rock lands and
Yep,
crushes him.
which-
Yep.
My brilliant strategy worked.
You still take damage though, Shogun, from landing, which is 1d4, since you're taking a lot softer of a landing, so you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage to your knees.
Actually, I will not, because I will reaction Featherfall.
Okay, fair enough. The leader only gets, since they're not going to be moving, they'll have their 2 actions, but can't use a bonus action, which is unfortunate for what I was planning. So, because of that, well, we've got
I
one...
recommend surrender, but your choice.
No, can everyone except for Sigrun give me a dex check, a saving throw,
Sure.
please?
Is this a magical effect?
Yes, this is.
19.
19, succeeds,
19.
succeeds.
Hold on, I gotta roll 1 for the Drake too. They get a plus
17.
4.
Teria succeeds.
15.
This is plus 4 for the Drake.
15 succeeds, just barely.
15 for my Drake.
Okay.
Everybody passes.
That's good, you all take half damage. So what's half of 58?
That would be...
That's rhetorical. That is 29 points of fire damage you all take as a fireball explodes in the center of your group. And let me just check. Does that actually blow up or not? Because if that does, that's about to be very unfortunate. Let me check that. What happens? Okay, no.
Yeah, normal fireball doesn't.
Yeah. Alright, so as that item's used up, they are going to use their second action without moving to put gate underneath them, or, well, not gate, dimension door underneath them, and fall through it, disappearing from the encounter. Okay. You just hear as suddenly that you all watch as the creature just disappears in front of Sigrun. I actually
Quick
will.
question.
Yes,
Who threw the fireball again?
she did.
The thing that just
The person who
disappeared.
Just disappeared.
Yes.
That can't disappear because they only have 1 action or bonus action.
2 actions because they still have. They did not move. They were
I
Sacrifice
can
their
read
movement.
the thing
Yes.
again.
I understand the thing, and that's
Moreover, on each of its turns, it can either use an action or a bonus action.
yes, and it gets 2 actions if it doesn't move, so it gets an extra action without movement. So
Alright.
if it had moved, it would only have gotten 1 action or 1 bonus action, as you mentioned, and no reaction, I believe, was the other part of that. So yeah, no, I'm keeping track. Okay.
Fucking bitch.
Yep. Let me. All right, Nick, you are up.
Well, my main target's gone. I'm grabbing the Staff of the Glutton
Mm-hmm.
off my other shoulder.
Okay.
I'm turning around, and how many of them how many Tabaxis do I see left up in the trees?
5 left.
I'm aiming for the branches
Okay.
on two separate branches,
Okay.
and I'm hitting them with acid splash.
Okay. Roll. Is that a DC for them?
I'm aiming for the branches, so it's not for them. They're just gonna fall because I'm just making the branches melt off. I'm bringing them down to ground level.
All right. Let me find the wood DC. Okay, I have it. We're good.
That
That.
needs to make a dex saving throw. Have fun with that.
Oh, Trita. Let's see. Minus 20 to. All right. So 10 points. Okay. Let me find something. So for that, yeah, both of them both branches seem to melt, and they take the D10 worth of damage each. So I'll just roll that separately and track. One takes 7, one takes 1. Okay. As
And then
they
I'll be
fall.
dropping Hunter's Mark, and I'm casting Healing Spirit right on top of me and my Drake,
Okay.
which will heal us each for 1d6
Okay.
right away, and then at the consecutive turns.
Okay.
So, yay, 6 for my Drake, and how much for me? 3 for me!
Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to do,
And-
Nick?
Nope. That's about all I can do.
Okay. Anything for your Drake?
Nope, not this time.
Okay.
It's just gonna keep guarding my backside, basically. Keep
Alright.
me covered.
The tabaxi that's on the ground is going to use its feline agility and run. Well, he's going to get up and then using what's left, his feline agility to run. Okay, and that puts the turn on Sarah. You're up.
Okay,
There are now only 4 hunters left.
Sarah will just attack one of the hunters without moving, so it'll be
Okay.
4 total attacks.
Mhm.
21
That hits.
for 8
Uh,
lightning damage,
Okay.
and
That hits.
9 damage.
Okay.
And I assume that one is still up.
Yep, he is
After
still
that,
standing. 16 hits, yep. They're
Okay.
only wearing leather armor from what you gather, so...
8.
Oh, yep, he's still standing. He's very zapped, though. His fur is standing on edge.
And
18
that
hits.
For 11.
And you watch as you zap, and suddenly the eyes roll back and the body collapses.
Nice.
Is that one near anybody else?
It was one of the ones that Nick melted the branches of and knocked on the ground. He's about 20 feet from you.
Gotcha. Is he next to one of his friends?
No, they're a tree between each of them. Because they all decided to surround you a lot. Well, those few are left alive. Alright, anything else, Sarah?
No, that's everything for her.
Okay. Shogun, you're up.
Okay.
There's
Who's near?
3 tabaxi left. One of them's on the ground. Or, no, actually, the other one ran. So there are 3 left in the trees.
Mm.
What I'm hearing is rock go up.
So I'm gonna step off my rock, which is still on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
carrying the egg with me, and I'm gonna throw the rock at whoever's nearest. Gonna push it towards them as hard as possible.
Okay.
Yeeting it. Just
Whatever save you feel like making, you do you.
Well, I
How's
think
that?
that would be a dex save for them.
how big is this rock again? It's 150 pounds, but what are its dimensions? Is it like 5x5?
Probably something like that. I'd imagine.
What's
Oh,
your...
and even if the person dodges, I'm making sure to knock the branch out. So if they try to land back in the branch, they're gonna land on nothing.
Are you aiming at the branch or aiming at them?
I'll say them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll make the DC, since your spell save DC is 16, we'll say 16. Make it easy for a dex save. Well, that's a 6, so they fail. Go ahead. I guess that would be what? Let's see.
That'd be like a
You did
D10 at least.
You did 4d6 when I was doing the throwing rocks at people.
Yeah, I'll say the same. Let's go stick with the same 46. That's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
10 damage.
Okay. They, as you smack them with the rock, they do go flying down, so that's another d10 worth of damage they're gonna get. And they will be knocked prone, and that is 1 damage as they land on the ground. Gracefully, a lot more graceful than you expected.
Since I didn't move,
Mhm.
can I just drop the rock on them now?
Sure, that's an automatic fail for them, so it's gonna auto hit since they can't make a dex save prone. So go ahead and roll damage. And add an extra d10 on there since it is falling from a height.
Krakatoa.
God damn it. Are you? Oh, there we go.
Is that... We'll check if this alone is enough to kill before I do a d10.
It is
14
not.
damage? Oh, that's sad. I am now sad. I wanted them to die.
They still might.
That's 2 more from the d10.
Okay. You knocked him unconscious, but he is still alive.
Good, we have someone to question.
Yeah, good enough.
Nice.
He's
Love
stuck-
that.
All right. Shogun, is there anything else you'd like to
Check
do?
his teeth for cyanide.
Let me check a spell first before. No, that's it.
Okay. All right. Up next is one of the hunters from the trees. More scared now, given the situation. He is going to use his feline agility and run off. And the next is going to do the same thing.
Oh, good, we're out of combat.
Nope. You still have... well, I mean, you still have one more that is unconscious.
Yeah, we're not killing him. We're tying him up.
Is Terias? Do you plan to kill the one on the ground?
No, I don't.
All right. I assume
We need to question this guy.
Sigrun's the same.
Correct.
Okay, then I will end combat. So just let me count real quick. So, all right, that's 2. Okay.
We could tie him up, or I could mold earth in a cage.
You know what? That sounds even more entertaining.
Okay. Give me a moment to save that and then go back.
Plus,
to
it's harder
this.
for him to escape from that.
So create new.
But we're finding his wrist still before we put him in a mold earth cage.
I just need to do something real quick to make sure I keep track of this, so that way I know how much XP to give you. All right, so let me. Oh no, not enders. Wow, if I end up doing that again. There you go. So that's for end of session, just for me to keep track. Okay, you are out of combat.
Quickly tying up his wrists with my rope, and then letting Shogun put him in a cage after I disarm him and take all his arrows and armor.
Okay, give me 1 sec. Let me see how many that is. Or
Just
what?
fully undressing the guy.
Okay, so you get a set of non-magical leather armor. You get 2 arrows. That's all he had
Hey,
left.
That re-ups my stock a little bit.
You get 1 short sword,
Oh, that replaces the one I broke.
and that's all he had on him. He is a leopard colored tabaxi, and he is currently unconscious. What would you like to do?
I bind his wrists and his feet so he can't run or escape, and then I look at Shogun and go, "You want to cage him? Go for it."
Go ahead and I'm gonna say sleight of hand to see how strong these binds are. Just for my
Alright.
own record.
Let me just finish adding this stuff into my inventory. Sleight of hand, okay. +4 with this. 6.
Well,
Alright.
good thing I'm making a cage. Your binds suck.
Okay. Alright, so as you bind up his hands, I mean, he's unconscious. Like, he's not exactly resisting right now, and he's not able to fight it. And then, Shogun, you said you're doing what now?
After I take my rock back, because I'm keeping the giant rock, I'm gonna
Okay.
use the ground and make a cage around it with mold earth.
Okay. Alright. So as you make a cage, how big is this cage gonna be?
What's the minimal size I need to fit him in it?
He is, about Let me find out what's up here. So he's about 6 feet tall. Not pretty thin. So pretty easy to put in a box. So you'd guess probably about 10 feet of mold earth you'd have to do.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So you make a cage into the ground. Again, he's unconscious, so he's not exactly resisting or fighting it. So, alright. What would you all like to do then? You're now in the middle of this forest. A couple of dead bodies. Or two dead tabaxi and one now in a cage.
I asked Sigrun to set up a barrier using the trees, chopping down a few as she needs to.
These are pretty thick trees. I mean, most are around a good 10 foot, or not 10 foot, 5 foot thick.
Mold earth barriers I make easier.
Okay, do that then. We need to make sure we can't get jumped on again. Terios, can you look intimidating here for a minute while I revive him, or would you like to revive him, Sarah? Nick
Sarah
looks like
slaps him.
that works. Nick looks like he's had the shit kicked out of him at this point.
Nice little pincushion. Okay. So, Sarah, you smack him. Go ahead and roll unarmed damage to see
I'm gonna roll another
Okay.
d6 for me and the Drake
to
because
see if you can wake him up.
Just damage.
Yeah, just damage.
It's just 3.
that'll be the physical.
Okay.
That'll be interesting enough.
It's a straight damage.
As you go to basically smack him across the face, you kind of see his eyes open up. It takes a second as he blinks and takes a couple of deep breaths, and you start to see his breathing picks up, and he looks around very panicked and worried.
Nick leans down, bloodied with arrows still sticking out of him, and goes, "Hello there. Why the fuck did you think it was a good idea to attack us?"
Roll persuasion.
Of course. +0, let's go. 17.
Okay. He looks at you and goes, very kind of like very quick in breath, goes, we were ordered to.
By whom?
He takes a second and goes, the person you saw.
You mean the one that I turned into a pincushion that the Red Goblin there beat with tentacles before they ran away and left you here?
You're really good at this intimidation thing. He just kind of nods.
You're gonna show us the
What's
way.
his name?
He looks at you for a second, and let me pull up this document actually. He calls himself. Where is it? I had this in my notes. It vanished again. Okay. He names himself as Tigrun. And smiles.
Knockoff. Shitty knockoff.
Alright, well, we'll let you out of here. You're not getting any of your stuff back, for one.
He smiles.
You might not even get
You
out of
see
there
two
alive.
fangs kind of start to pop up, and he goes, "Go ahead and roll intimidation, actually, for me, if you're gonna say that. See what you get."
14.
Okay, he is going to roll to see if he can understand. That give me a minute to find the button for that. Okay, that's charisma. Wow. He looks frightened and immediately bites his own tongue. As hard as he can.
I grab his face really quick and use Cure Wounds to stop him from biting his own tongue off. He's not killing himself like this.
Okay, roll to heal him.
That's 6 health back.
Okay, he heals for
That's more than a bite does.
he heals for 6 HP and looks very confused.
I smile and pull the arrow out of my shoulder and calmly look at him. This is how this is gonna go. You're gonna listen to me, and you're gonna go back to them and tell them that if they attack us again, we're not gonna hold back. We will end all of them. You're the messenger. You do well and you return to me, I'll give you at least your armor back. Outside of that, you don't get the weapons until I trust you. You show me the way through the forest without any issues, you'll get all your stuff back, except for the 2 arrows. That's replacements for the 2 that your boss stole from me. Understood?
He for a second kind of pauses for a minute, and then a little bit more of a serious expression. He looks at you and goes, I'm happy to take you to where my boss is, if that's what you're asking. Can I at least have some pants?" As he looks down, and
I give him a pair of pants.
And can someone put them on me? My hands and legs are tied, good sir.
I did them very shittily. Don't act like I didn't notice that you noticed.
I was unconscious when you tied me up.
Yeah, but you've been
It's
wiggling
very
this entire
confused.
time.
Because I'm in a cage with a goblin with a giant stone, another goblin with a big battle axe, a giant warthog that is completely naked, some woman, some half elf in magic armor, and a really, really dumb human. As he smiles at Nick.
Okay, Terias, you can kill him instead. I changed my mind. Nick starts to
Done.
walk away.
I walk forward and just start. I grab him by the throat and just squeeze.
Okay. All right. As you kill the Tabaxi, he smiles at Terias as the life leaves his eyes,
I
and
smile back.
he crumples to death. You managed to snap his neck. He is gone.
Alright.
Leave his body. Actually, know what? John, do you think you'd be able to levitate that body up for a bit?
I mean, it counts as an object now, right? Because he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I can do that.
I go climb a tree wherever he levitates it, and I hang the body by its neck to show them not to come near us at this point.
Okay.
We're setting up camp.
If you want to really send a message, hang him by his own intestines.
I look at Terias and go, I'm not an entire monster, that's why I let you kill him. That's why I gave him a choice to live. He decided to insult
Okay.
me. So he signed his own death warrant.
Okay. All right. As you hang the body, do you continue on your march, or are you making camp here?
We're making camp between... Is there a closer knit amount of trees that we can get to?
Not really. Most of them are pretty equal distance. I mean, this is a very dense forest.
Shogun, I'll help you. I'm gonna look at everybody. We're gonna get to work. We're gonna fortify this area. And work out some good traps.
Okay.
Sarah all of a sudden kind of points her sword and like gauntlet at Shogun. Why are you surging in magic?
Don't know.
You
Hey,
all,
Shogun, is my egg okay?
As he looks in his pocket, and he's like,
as you see Shogun look in his pocket for a moment, you notice there's a very bright light coming from his pocket, and even Terias, a man who doesn't even believe in magic, can sense the amount of magic coming off this is fucking ridiculous.
Does it
What the
does it
fuck
match
is
from
that thing?
before?
Yes, and it's necrotic, for those wondering.
Okay. Why is that Isabel's magic?
very cursed item. Found in the dragon's lair, I did. Keeping it away from her, I am.
Sarah relaxes.
You
Alright.
didn't think to
Slightly.
tell any books?
Well,
what
let's
was that,
not
Terias?
let's be realistic here. He's not the only one keeping secrets. We can talk about this after we set up camp. Shogun, can you make some earthen walls?
That's true.
Sigrun, help me reinforce. Let's Sigrun and Terias, let's reinforce them with some of this wood, and if you still got some steel.
Terias, what did you say?
Oh, I got plenty.
What were you saying earlier?
Oh, I was just asking why he didn't tell us, but that's okay. We can make a sharing circle later.
Okay. Alright. As you start setting up camp and fortifying, it's going to take you about 2 hours to get fully set up and move the corpses away so that way the smell gets away.
I'm utilizing some sticks to make basically spikes and
So-
small pit traps. outside of
Going
the
through
area
this.
as well.
Well, give me a minute. Going through this, Nick. So you're grabbing sticks and starting to sharpen them and create a perimeter.
Yep, I'm having the
Okay.
Drake dig a pit around the perimeter.
Okay. All right. Terias, what are you doing while Nick's doing that to set up a camp and reinforce this place?
I That's a great question.
Do I need to
suggest
come back to
getting
you?
Wood. You have an
Yeah.
axe.
Okay.
I
have
suggest
some
wood.
ideas. It's like half an idea. right
Okay,
now.
I'll come back to you. All right, Sarah.
Just kind of helping to set up the main camp area, although she's full focused on that whatever's in Shogun's pocket,
Okay.
trying to pay attention to its magic.
Okay. And Sigrun.
Probably just helping in the camp also.
Okay.
Set up tents, unroll, bed rolls, stuff like that.
Okay. Shogun.
I'm setting myself up a little mold earth hut, and then I'll use mold earth for whatever Nick needs if he wants to make a barrier after, a more physical barrier.
Okay, so who's moving the 2 dead bodies you have now around your camp?
Sigrun can.
Okay, making sure.
If she can hang them up too.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Sigrun's strong enough. It's just getting a couple vines and tying them up. Okay. Shogun, I want you to give me an Arcana check or something.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. That's a 10.
Okay, no worries. All right. So, as you guys kind of set up camp and everything, getting the barrier set up, you got a small little wall going just so you can see over it when you're standing, but not when you're sitting. Cleared enough roots away so that way fire doesn't start. Terias, did you have any other? Did you have your idea come to light yet for what you want to do?
Yeah. Just inside the spike barrier, but still a good. I mean, what's our radius that we have?
About a 30-foot area you're setting up in.
About a 30-foot area. Yeah, just inside of the kind of spike traps and stuff, I'm going to lay down. I'm gonna dig just a very, very shallow, about 1.5 inch, like trench. And I'm going to dig it just in a full radius around the camp, and fill it with oil,
Okay.
flammable oil, and then where it looks like the trees are honestly, we saw them in the trees, right?
Yes.
Where it looks like the trees are most dense around the camp, I'm going to put somewhat large amounts of gunpowder just right next to the oil trench. So
Okay.
if the oil gets lit on fire, a bunch of trees will fucking explode.
Okay. Gotcha. So tree claymores.
Pretty much.
All right. Okay. So as you set that up, you all managed to kind of clear away the roots enough to where you can actually set up camp and be comfortable. Having dug a small fire pit. I mean, it's still about mid-afternoon at this point of your travels. But having been exhausted and not having any towns really near you, with at least not for at least a half a day's more journey, you all set up camp and watch. And yeah, what would you all like to do as you're sitting in camp?
First watch we'll go to. We need to rest because I'm pretty sure we're all a little worn out after fighting and resting and then getting shot at.
Okay.
Y'all mind if I take last watch? I've been up for a while.
That's fine.
Okay.
Honestly, that'd be better. We'll do perimeter checks. We'll sit in groups of 2 to keep watch for right now. I'll take my Drake and I'll take first watch.
Okay.
Sigrun will take next, and then Terios will take last.
Okay. All right. As you all sit down and start to pass out as Nick stays up, Nick, give me a perception check.
12, but my passive is 17, so I guess I get that. That's fun.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check as well. I'm just curious about something.
5. Nick is too wounded to care about Arcana.
Okay. Okay. All right. So as you kind of start watching, and the it's still bright out, so it's very easy to see as you look around, kind of walking to perimeter, smelling the scent of oil in the dirt. Not really knowing what the little bags that Terias set up next to the trees, but sensing they're probably something dangerous and flammable. Looking around, you don't spot any tree or anything in the trees or any creatures coming up. Sarah, seeing as you're one of the more on edge ones, given the situation and your arcane ability's higher, give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Not that great. 13.
Okay. You sense for a moment, as you're saying your tent, I assume you would probably have set your tent a little bit closer to Shogun's.
Yeah.
You sense magic for a moment, a dimension door spell go off. And for a slight second, you hear the snoring of Shogun peacefully, and then a slight screech of help or yelling, and then nothing.
Instantly yells for Sigrun and jumps up to try to see what's going on.
I guess I'd hear that too and start running over.
Yeah,
sending the Drake ahead.
As you all turn and look, Nick running over with his Drake. Nick, you immediately can see into the little hut. Shogun's gone. Sarah and Sigrun, as you come out, you also see the same thing. But Sarah, you notice or you recognize a slight burn mark on the ground, in the shape of a door in his tent or in his little cave he built.
Okay. Probably just examine it further or attempt to see if I can figure out, knowing how Dimension Door works, what if I can sense them pop out somewhere else.
Okay, we'll check that in a second. Terias, what was up?
This is not something that Terias knows. Not metagaming. Just in case you weren't aware, Dimension Door, when taking another person, does require the person to be willing.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay.
And as go ahead, Sarah, and give me an Arcana check.
Haha. Nat 20, 28.
You
Please
can
tell me you
sense,
rip that open.
in the direction you were actually heading, suddenly the door reopened. And you do sense Shogun's magic in the direction of the town you were heading to.
They're that way. We should go.
Has Nick at least gotten a short rest?
Nope, no one even got a short rest. This was within an hour of everyone bedding down.
I at least need a short rest so that I don't die the next time I get shot in the head.
I don't think we have time, because if that was Isabel, potentially, then she would have her tongue, because Shogun had
Fair
it.
point. Let's go, I
Damned
guess.
if we do, damned if we don't.
Okay.
Let's go.
So
as we walk out of the camp, I'm smacking myself with Cure Wounds level 2.
Okay.
I
How,
get 15 health back.
did you get a range? How far it was, or
It's a half a day's journey. It's literally in the same direction you're going, from what you can tell.
All right.
It takes you about an hour to clear up your camp. getting your tents, getting everything kind of set to where nothing will light this forest on fire and doom the entire native species. Terias can't
Yeah, I
really
gotta
do
be very
anything with the
careful
oil.
about that.
I mean, well, hold on.
Yes.
The world is at stake, right? Do we care about a forest?
I look at Terias and simply say, pick up the gunpowder at least. We can start a forest fire. That can go out. That can help nature. But exploding trees, not exactly a good choice.
As soon as Sarah and Sigrun are done packing up their stuff, they're heading that direction already.
Okay.
Nick's right behind them, letting Sigrun take front this time.
All right. As Terias, do you grab your gunpowder, Terias?
Yeah, I'll scoop up as much gunpowder as possible.
Okay. Well, it was in the bags. I had assumed you just left it in the bags
yeah,
to make
yeah.
it easier to pick up or light if need be. The oil, however, is soaked into the dirt at this point. You're not getting that back. Okay. All right. So as you
Sarah also did a cure wounds
nice. Okay.
to adjust herself.
As you head over, let's pop over to Shogun for a moment. Shogun, you remember you set up your camp. The others kind of were watching you. You were a little iffy about what was going on. You were a little worried about what was going on, and then the next thing you knew, you fell through a hole in the world and found yourself popping out of a door in a wall, standing next to what looks to be a tabaxi, a very old tabaxi with very white fur, walking with a bit of a cane, and you notice that you're in a lab. You see beakers, glasses, vials filled with strange liquids, rats being injected with something or other. And you see these tabaxi staring at you and going, well, shit, you weren't who I was looking for. Who are you?
Shogun?
He looks at you for a second and goes, I don't know you. Get the hell out of here.
Okay. As I leave.
He just points to the door. As you walk out, you find yourself in this town. It's a rather large town. It's even got fortified walls made of stone. You can see the forest out. You see tabaxi walking about. This is a pretty good sized town. You're alone, yet again. Also, the tongue has stopped giving off a surge of magic.
Oh, that's nice at least.
Mm-hmm. What would you like to do while you're in this town? Do you still wish to use your lich staff to go kill the poor tabaxi who summoned you?
No, because I like that guy a lot. He's a great character. To be honest, I was ready to kill Isabel. Alright, well, I'm gonna go find an inn.
Okay.
I'm going to sleep.
After, it takes you only about a few minutes, really. I mean, you find yourself in the nicer district, as you notice. As you walk out, this is a really big building, and looks to have multiple tabaxi working in there, under that old man. You can hear him yelling in the strange tongue, assuming you don't know Abyssal.
I do not.
Yeah. You hear him yelling, and you hear someone walk in, and then you hear them yelp as they get smacked with something. And as you kind of go walking off, you find yourself in the middle of the market for the upper district of this town. And there are 3 different inns. One that is just simply looks to be a cat, literally an actual cat's face, looking like a calico design on the sigil. It says "inn" below it. Another one that has 2 ravens facing opposite each other. Also known as the Whores Union, because that has become a thing, this campaign group. And the last one
We all know where Shogun's going.
The last one looks to be just a simple design of it's just a wagon, a covered wagon design with a inn written underneath it.
The cat one sounds nice.
Okay. As you head over, as soon as you open it up, you hear a female tabaxi wave or greet you from the entrance, only a few feet from you. And as you open up the doors, immediately perfumes and the smell of sweets kind of erupts across your face, as well as the scent of alcohol. Kind of, it just explodes as you see a bunch of very, very lightly clothed tabaxi women walking around with Johns walking about. And the woman introduces you, or the female tabaxi at the door introduces you and says, "Welcome to the Captain's Inn."
Oh, okay. A room I would like. How much?
1 gold piece a night. Free food comes with it. Drinks are limited to 3 refills.
Works for me. Yeah.
And she nods and goes, "Would you like the Ricard suite? We are offering it for 5 gold pieces."
You know what? As someone who's grown up really poor, yeah, I'll buy the record suite.
She nods and smiles and says, "Have a good afternoon, sir, and enjoy your stay here at the Captain's Inn." And as you walk up, heading into one of the stairways, you enter a room, and it's almost kind of like a log cabin as you open up the door. Very nice and cozy. There's a nice little like cottage set design to it. A very well designed, or almost like a sailor or a ship kind of a design of a bed. Kind of like how you have those race car beds. This one's designed as a ship. The sheets themselves are made of a very fine silk, from what you can tell. The bed's very fluffy and rather roomy, and very, very quiet, as you don't hear anything from the outside world. After about 20 minutes of you being in there, a tabaxi female comes dressed professionally in a full suit of sorts, and arrives with a very large thing of a turkey leg, as well as a bottle of what looks to be a yellowish green beer, and says, "Your meal?"
Dude, this is the best day Shogun's ever had. This is great.
And she looks at you after you take the meal and goes, "Will you be requiring a bath, or are you okay?"
No. Shogun is good.
She nods and goes, "By the way, there's a woman looking for you around here.
Hmm?
Shall I send her up here for you?"
Sure.
She nods and heads back down.
You fool!
No, this will be
After about a few minutes go by as you're sitting there gnawing on your turkey leg. It's really high quality. It's got spices. It's well preserved. The meat itself is still very juicy, yet with a slight salt tinge and a slight taste of orange in it. As you are sitting there, you hear a knock on the door.
I'll go open it.
As you open the door, there stands a. Let me find the proper height of this character. Okay.
Shogun knows.
A 4'3" woman, dark-skinned woman with purple eyes and long black hair. She is a human. This definitely looks like Isabella, but you can't tell given the hairstyle has changed so drastically within just a few days of seeing her.
Shogun's gonna sigh, wave them in, and go sit. I guess we're doing this now.
As they walk in, they smile and look at Shogun and say, they close the door behind him and then just hold out their hand, glaring at you.
Why?
What do you do?
Why did you say yes?
Telepathy I know you use. Speak to me.
You see her kind of sigh and smacks her staff on the ground that she suddenly pulls out of her bag of holding. The staff is made of bones itself. Like the staff, the main portion of the staff is made of what looks to be connected bones that have been almost melted together. Very similar to how some dwarves think magic works when they make their staves. They just use heat metal on the material and meld it together. And at the top is a blackened orb, very similar as far as the size and look of it to the one inside Terios's head currently. And as soon as she taps it, suddenly you find yourself standing on a very large battlefield. You see a horde of goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbears standing at the back of one very lone-looking robed figure. Shogun, you recognize this person. It's you, but with longer hair and older looking. And on the other side, you see for a moment the gods themselves that you've keep getting told about. along with many of the other races preparing to fight you. And she just then looks at you and holds out her hand again.
So we're like in our minds right now.
Nope.
So
This just seemed to pop up around you as she smacked her staff on the ground. You are in some sort of place where it's very dusty. The ground is very brown. There is no living things in the ground for miles. And you do see what looks to be... The staff in your hand looks a little different. Let me pull up the description of this staff. One moment. It takes a second to load because D&D Beyond is always slow when I'm streaming. There we go. So it's just what looks to be a simple black wooden stick with a green crystal that kind of floats above it slightly, only a few inches. And every time that you see yourself kind of move it, the mortal beings behind these supposed gods seem to kind of back away slightly, even though they're on this, massive battlefield.
Give you this item, I feel I shouldn't. Treated you like family and almost killed me, you did. Many times. Why? An explanation I need.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. Nick, Teria, Sarah, and Sigrun, I want you all to give me a D20 roll. Just normal D20, no modifiers.
Woo! That's a 3. Nick is not doing well.
Okay, 15.
Should I do one for the Drake?
No. Because you're not riding the Drake. Okay. And then Sigrun, please, as well.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Hard to manage two characters.
I'll just roll another one off of mine since I can't do the individual one. There's...
That's true. That's true.
9.
Okay, 9. All right. Okay. So, to note that Terias and Sarah seem to be walking pretty quickly, cutting the time in half, while Nick and Sigrun are a little on the slower side of things, which Sigrun makes sense.
Nick's gotten his ass kicked. He's sore.
In more ways than one. Okay.
Low
I will
health
say,
at this point.
Sarah and Nick, seeing as you're both arcane casters, you can sense Isabella's magic coming from far ahead of you in the same direction, and it is much more powerful than the last time you recall.
We're gonna go have to make sure we don't kill her and get some answers.
Cutting back over, Shogun, as you ask this question, she kind of holds her hat out again and insists, as if implying that she can't speak without the tongue.
Very, very evil it is. Very cursed. Fall into madness, you will.
She nods.
Didn't. I'd rather you didn't.
Suddenly you see little bits of cloud appear in front of her, and it reads, "I can kill you, or you can hand it over."
All times to sound like my family is now. Okay. Related to Shogun. Well.
She could always ask. Maybe this is your long-lost mother you never found out about.
Time Walker, she is.
Rude. Shogun's gonna use the nickname. Rude little Issa has become. But Shogun has literally no choice. I have 11 health.
I will say, she is very healthy looking right now.
Yeah. There's no way I can do anything. I'll kind of fiddle and pull out the tongue, and I'll kind of fiddle it with my hands.
She just waits patiently, holding her hand out.
As I reach out to hand it out, I'll say, act like my family you had to. Like, can you do this earlier? Would have been proud.
She takes the necklace into her hand. it suddenly turns, and you see it turn into a red actual tongue, and she sticks it into her mouth. While it is red, you do see a lot of dust and strange slime on it. It's definitely not very appetizing looking. And you see her kind of smack her, or lightly tap her lips with her staff for a second, and then she suddenly starts to speak in perfectly good goblin. She looks at you and goes, "Now I can stop you idiots from fucking everything up." She looks at you and goes, "Stop trying to kill people." And
What?
she looks at the rest of... she waits for a second, smacks her staff on the ground, and suddenly Nick, Terias, Garoon, and Sarah, you find yourselves standing on this battlefield, seeing everything that Shogun's seeing, and you now see Isabella. You'd guess she's probably about 40 years old now. Her hair is much longer. She's wearing full gray robes that seem to sparkle with little twinkling
Okay, so
lights.
I'm dealing with another. There's another fucking time wizard. Great.
She looks at Nick for a second and smiles.
Yeah, as soon as
Hi,
Sarah,
Isabel. You fucking shot at us a few times. Could you not do that anymore?
Go ahead, Sarah.
kind of as soon as Sarah recognizes it, just kind of that like at ready with the sword and gauntlet to like attack if need be, because she has no idea what just happened.
The Drake is standing between Nick and Isabel, looking very upset and angry.
Probably Siegfried, same.
Yeah.
I mean, stand down, you
Yeah.
will. Having a conversation. I
Sarah's
have.
on edge. Terias is on edge.
She looks at all of you and goes, "Finally! Now I don't have to deal with you idiots anymore. Allow me to explain.
Bitch.
I will kill you." She literally just looks you in the eye and suddenly a dagger is at Nick's throat. She's not holding it, it's just floating. "I can end your entire existence and make you never exist. Speak once more out of turn and it will happen. Now, allow me to actually formally introduce myself," as she takes a second to breathe. "Also, why would you put my tongue in your pocket? That is disgusting. You know how nasty that is to taste."
Cursed it was. I really didn't want to put it in the bag of holding.
She looks at you and goes, "Yeah? Well, don't do that again. It was disgusting, and I am not a fan of that taste. Also, ever call me Issa again, and I will kill you." And she smiles at Shogun. "Anyways, allow me to tell you a small story, children." And she snacks her staff on the ground again, and you find yourself sitting in what looks to be a very drafty-looking castle made of blue rocks. Or blue stone, and then the stone suddenly turns to black as well, and you find yourself sitting around this giant bone-like table, and she goes, "This was once mine. There's an asshole named Logalthus who lives there now, but I can't do anything about that currently. Man's got an army of undead that's being a problem for me. So, how do I explain this to you idiots? She takes a second, kind of ponders. "You know what? Why don't you ask me questions? It might make it easier to tell the story if I don't have to repeat the whole thing."
Please tell the story.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like the best idea here.
She looks
Last
at Sarah.
time we saw you was at the tree and you were attacking us and then seemed to help make the tree happen.
Yeah,
And
I
now
think
you're
he died.
Well, no,
much
we
older.
saw her one time since, and she shot.
No, you
Shogun.
didn't see that. You didn't see that. Shogun said that, to make very clear. You didn't see it.
You shot me. It was rude.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Just explain the from the tree to now what's
Okay. I won't give you the whole backstory to save you some time then.
highlights are fine.
Yeah. Here's the highlight. I can craft 3 9th level spells into a single spell very easily. Probably one of the most powerful magic casters in the known world. When I have my abilities. But unfortunately, I thought it'd be a great idea to become a lich. And unlike your undead friend up in the North Pole, I fucked up. And decided to make my phylactery my tongue, thinking that was a brilliant idea. Turns out, as your friend Shogun was carrying it, it's not. And it tastes so bad now. What is in your pocket, good sir?
As Shogun reaches in the same pocket and pulls out a mouse.
Oh, that is disgusting.
Clean
I
he
wave
is.
to the mouse.
Waves back.
God damn it. Anyways, basically, allow me to make this very clear. One of the great gods of the Beyond has basically decided that we're going to have a nice little Rumble Royale. All the little experiments of the different multiverses they were working on, they decided to merge into one and said whoever wins lives. Bad news is, you idiots keeps trying to stop me from making sure they open early so that they're not as prepared, so they're easier to kill. I'm causing a full-on merger. Because if we're all forced into one shitty situation, someone's gonna come out on top and work it out. Or I'm just gonna nuke the planet, one of the two. As she kind of waves her hands and you see a massive explosion off in the distance that seems to, be the size of a small continent.
Alright, but since you had telepathy, why didn't you tell us this when you were doing it? Way back when you were still a fucking child.
I was never a child, I just accidentally reversed my age.
Or at least looked like one.
Oh no, I'm over 7,000 years old. She smiles.
Damn.
Also, Nick Jr., the one you're so fond of, that motherfucker's the one trying to kill you, not me. You just got in my way. Also, your friend Shogun here, definitely evil. Shot at him because I thought he was going to come kill me.
Yeah, wanted to talk, then he shot me. It's kind of rude.
I mean, I was trying to run away from the fact that there was a Tarrasque walking towards us and it was sentient.
Wow.
Well, the nearest
What?
evil one, I point at Terias, is that one.
She looks at Terias and goes, Evil how? Well, he lit your bunker on fire and mold earth the things closed. I watched him do it. I don't know if he has a thing against the physician that was working there. That guy was real nice, very sweet guy. He, treated me well. You were in your sack.
You were in a blood cocoon.
Okay.
Yeah, you were fine in your embryonic sack. But they took you to the Void Walkers or the Void Wolves, one of their headquarters, and then to get away from the city that was being destroyed, and then had to run after someone lit it on fire and tried to smoke everyone out. And she goes, yeah, so he tried to kill you. I tried to stop him. His intent is pretty written on his face. Also, his mouse can talk. I don't think he's realized that yet. But anyways, long story short, I'm trying to cause these things to collapse together to piss off, Thief. I don't know if any of you know who that is, but he's a really just mean person.
Can I give a
I don't know
history
if
roll
you
to see if
know
I
this,
even know the
but magic
general
actually
idea?
doesn't exist.
Yes, go ahead. And Terias, she looks at you and goes, You're right, magic doesn't exist, at least not in the way these idiots think it does.
That's a
Thank you.
10.
That's a 10, you have no idea who this is.
No, never heard of Thief.
She looks at you and goes, Okay, I'm gonna explain two things. First off, Thief is the guy who kinda created everything. He's Lenta's older brother, he's the guy who enjoys fucking with people on a multiverse scale. Y'all ain't special, don't
The High
worry.
King.
Oh god, the High King fucking kneels at his shoes and kisses his boots for the travesty this man causes. Anyways, also there's an idiot who revived him. Oh god, I'm gonna have to deal with that next. Thank God for the war in the domain of Moors right now. She looks at you all and goes, I'm gonna make this simple. Figure your shit out, collect those legendary items that your friend Sarah here knows about, and you might manage to come out alive. Because then, at the very least, when the gods become mortal, y'all don't have to worry about being attacked by them because they think you guys are trying to kill them. Especially you fucking goblin, as she looks at Shogun.
Shogun, you need to start sharing more information with us too. No more running off on your own. You
Also,
have supervised.
she turns to Nick and goes, How is my bloodline so stupid? What happened to you? Did they beat you over the head? Did you lose everything? What about the giant magical vault we've had access to this entire time?
I look at her completely dumbfounded and I simply go, I have no idea of my bloodline. My mother handed me this book. I pulled the
Yes.
out of my pocket and slam it down on the table. And that's all I've got left. She's in the Tiefling lands and she doesn't even know how to get a hold of any of the family on that side. My father's side is a Tiefling. She's living with my father's brother right now. So
She looks at you for a second and goes, Give me the book.
I slide it over to her.
And she opens it, and you can see it immediately starts filling out. Like the whole thing starts increasing in size. It gets almost a good 1,000 pages thick.
I pat the Drake, and I look down at the Drake and go, Jesus, why didn't my father's book do this?
She looks it over and goes, "Alright, so you haven't activated it yet. I'm not gonna activate it for you." And she taps it with the staff, and all the pages disappear into the air. "Here, figure your shit out, you might live." Alright.
Tell me, at least give me a fucking hint how to activate it then, great ancestor.
Oh, please don't call me that. I don't want to be related to you.
Seems like you don't have a choice, just like I don't have a choice in it either.
You have the... I hope you're from a branch family. She looks at you and goes, "Alright, simple. There's a people called the Nothies. Go find them. Figure it out."
Alright.
Alright. She looks over at Terios and goes, "Here's a piece of advice. Listen to the guy you have a pact with. He's sending you good places. He's a good dude. Good friend of mine. He might also eat your soul when you die. But that's regardless."
I mean, magic doesn't really exist, so neither do souls, so I don't really care, but good luck with that.
"I'm not explaining this today to you." She smiles and nods and just goes and looks over to Sarah and goes, "You! Go to the Drowlands. There's something there you need to know. I know you don't want to, probably. I don't blame you. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to most of the places in this world nowadays. Y'all are so backwards, I'm just amazed on how the world survived. But go there."
What?
Well, that was granted to a few.
"You
particular-
hush!" And she snaps her fingers, and immediately Nick is silenced.
While she was talking to Nick, Sarah pulls out that book from the gnome library that had all the items in it.
Mhm.
And after she gets done talking to Sarah, do you mean these items?
"Yes, track them down. There's some that are missing. Ask that, what is it? The woman who merged herself with a spider for some weird reason and gave the weirdest leg kink to so many drow."
Okay.
Oh, then Zoran's first wife. Understood.
Alright. She looks over at Sigrun and goes, "You! Find what happened to you." She just skips after that, doesn't even pay attention anymore, and looks at Shogun and goes, "You! Stop trying to kill everyone! Surprisingly, they may help you."
I only did what I was told.
Yes, and the person you've made a pact with," she she opens the spell book and goes,
Yes, I don't still know who that is.
"Yeah, you've made a pact with the primal being, something that wants this world destroyed. I'm gonna be honest, you're not the brightest figure in the bunch, I can tell you that much." What was her name? As she kind of keeps scrolling through and goes, "It's in my book somewhere. I think, Shagnaruk is what you lot call her, probably. Look into her. You'll find out the information you want. Don't make a pact with that one. Trust me, she'll eat you before you ever get a chance to do anything. Also, that staff, really pointless to have if you're trying to kill me with it," as she smiles at Shogun. "And, now, for the rest of you, for all of you, thank you for killing my doppelganger. That was appreciated. Well, at least knocking him down to 11 HP. Do me a favor, find Nick Jr., and cut his throat, because that man is going to cause you more problems than he is worth. And he is not your son, for the love of God. As far as what I was doing, because I know someone's going to ask why I was in Mechanicus, I was dimension hopping, studying these people. I thought, in a world where there wasn't magic, making myself into an undead lich would be a great idea, because I wouldn't be able to be bothered. Yeah, didn't work out as well as I was hoping. Somehow, I not only screwed up the incantation and made myself permanently young and immortal, but I also managed to turn my tongue, like I said, into a phylactery of sorts. It trapped my magic, basically. As she kind of moves her tongue around and goes, "Man, I'm never getting the taste of mouse ass out of my mouth now."
Hold on a second, I have something that'll actually help with that.
She looks at you and goes, "If it's magic, I already know it."
Then use Goodberry.
Ew, no. And I don't want to be welcome to Goodberry, thank you. Now have a good day. And she looks at you and goes, "Alright, you have one question. Of your whole group, you get one. What do you want to know?"
Nick just stores the book and looks at his Drake. You got anything to ask? Nope. Alright.
I mean, talking to the group, not her, it's like this book I found has multiple items in it. I don't know if we want to try to find a location of that.
We'll look through it and figure it out. Shogun, you got any good questions to ask her?
Not anything that would help you guys. Something that would help me a little bit. That's about it.
That's
If it
really
helps
all
you,
I
it might
have
help
too.
the rest of us if you stop actively trying to kill us, apparently.
Then the question won't help. I'll keep that to myself.
She looks at you lot and goes,
Good idea.
Alright, you ever come up with something and you want to ask, feel free to reach out. You get one. She looks at Terios and is go ahead, Terios. Okay, I assume you didn't have anything? Oh, go ahead.
It's a physics-based question.
She looks at you and goes, I can literally weave the concepts of magic together, and you want me to do math for you.
Yes, I mean, well, all of your magic, big air quotes.
She taps her staff, and you see literally exactly what you were imagining of a bomber flying over your head, Terios. And she goes,
Yeah.
yeah,
yes,
magic.
that. All of your magic
Uh-huh.
is just math anyway, so.
Sure, go ahead. What's your question?
And I don't know how this would help mechanics-wise, but Terios is just gonna ask a pretty complicated question about thermodynamics, just to help in his later creations.
She looks directly at you and goes, if you want to end the world, go listen to your pact master.
That wasn't an answer.
No, I'm choosing not to answer your question because I think it's more entertaining to watch you blow yourself up. Now, if you ever come up with a real question, feel free to come reach out to me. You got many places to go. There are many continents non-discovered. You know, there's two places that a lot of people don't go. Maybe you'll find something there. There's also a third. Who knows? Find something. Kill Toutler. Destroy the world. I don't care. Just leave me the fuck alone until you have your question. And she goes, and if there's anything else... And she hands Nick her a little piece of paper that literally just reads... well, actually, here, let me get the exact name of it. Let me grab this so that way it's noted. And she looks at you and goes, use this, just light it on fire, and I'll come answering. I won't show up, but I will answer.
10 to 1, the smoke will take your form, and then you'll answer. Understood.
No, that'd be stupid. Who wants to choke on someone while they're speaking to them? I mean, we're related. Oh Lord. All right.
I look her dead in the eyes and go, well, the Whores Union, they have a lot of weird people that go in there. You not imagine the stories I've heard.
My own great-grandkid is a whore.
No,
I'm never
not.
living
I
that
just
one
had to
down.
sleep there.
My bet's off. Okay, well, I'm gonna send you back home to where you were. Your friend here, Shogun's about a little less than a full day, or a little less than a day's worth of walking left for the rest of you. You'll find him at this inn, at the Captain's Inn. Good luck. Don't call me if you don't need me. And she smacks her staff on the ground and goes, oh, and the invasions are gonna continue. I don't recommend getting involved with them. And she vanishes. As you find everyone but Shogun finds himself back in the forest where they had been, and Shogun finds himself back in the cabin.
Nick just keeps walking towards the city at this point.
Without discussion. All right.
We will talk when we get to Shogun.
Falbin? Oh man, you got a long journey to get to Falbin.
Falbin just suddenly fucking appears somewhere.
As the
Someone says his
party
name 3 times.
continues their march, eventually making it to the inn, eventually finding them, we are going to end the session there. Thank you all for watching. We will see what the party decides to do with all this information, give them a chance to plan, and hopefully finally get them to do some interesting plot storylines. We'll see. And stop chasing the poor woman who has been doing nothing but trying to save the world. Thank you all, and we will see you next time.